Sam Boney. Sam. Yes.
Hi everyone. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all the veterans who have protected this great nation. Suicide. It's the leading cause of death for our military veterans. Over 22 veterans die from their own hands every day. 4 years ago, I became a body in that statistic. But I didn't, and I'm here today to tell you why. On the morning of my 21st birthday, I boarded a plane with my M16, headed for Baghdad, Iraq. I served 14 months as a combat medic in Operation Iraqi Freedom Enduring Freedom with the 1st Cavalry Division, 15th Brigade Support Battalion. Our medical company ran one of the main forward operating hospitals out of Camp Victory, Baghdad. Our mission was to give medical support to the front line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As a medic in the ambulance platoon, I got to see my fair share of trauma in the field. I'll never forget the first time hearing someone crying out for a medic. It was after a mortar attack. My first trauma patient was a young kid like myself. His first day in Baghdad, and his skull had been sliced open from shrapnel. I did everything I could to help extend his life, holding bandages on his head, whisking him away into the ER. I prayed that he'd make it, but he didn't. I noticed a change in myself when I started having nightmares a week after. I couldn't stop thinking about the death I saw and the constant threat of bombs and mortars. I was exhausted and I was broken, but I had to keep moving. I had no choice but to push my feelings aside to do my duty as a soldier. Some people try committing suicide as a way out of the misery we lived in, and that bothered me. Why someone would rather take their own life than to live another day. I was blind to the pain they were suffering. I had yet to weather a storm strong enough to break my faith in life. I felt like one day I would be back home and life would be better. But that hope faded away as death and destruction wore on my soul. One mission, the Battle of An-Najaf, was a storm that changed me forever. Our mission was to take control of the city insurgents overthrew. I was assigned to an infantry squad after their medic was injured. We patrolled Wadi al-Salam, the largest cemetery in the world, to eliminate weapons caches and anything alive. Every time I walked out from the back of our Bradley onto the front line, all I could see were graves and tombs, along with the shining golden dome of the Muslim's second holiest shrine. No matter how tired or worn out I was, I knew that I had to be out in the intense heat with 130 pounds of gear on my back, running and jumping 14 hours a day, shuffling and shooting. It was killed or be killed in the most intense fighting the military has seen since the jungles of Vietnam. I knew I wouldn't make it out alive, and it was there I lost my faith in life. I felt like I had turned into a monster. I killed people, but I also helped save lives. It was everything I needed to do to survive at the time, and I don't regret it. I came back to the States excited for freedom again. I felt like royalty, you know, taking 2 showers a day, 2 hot showers a day. You never know how good it feels to use a porcelain toilet until all you have are porta potties. Life was good again. At least I thought it was until it slowed down. I woke up from a nightmare for the first time without my rifle, freaking out because I didn't know where I was. I felt defenseless. After screaming for my weapon and nearly going on a rampage, I snapped out of it and was left with a cold, dark, empty feeling in my chest. And that feeling only got worse. And you know, I know when I should be happy, have compassion, or feel something, but I don't. I feel empty most times. That's what it's like to live with post-traumatic stress disorder. Daily nightmares, unwanted flashbacks, lack of sleep, lack of emotion. After a while, you'll start believing you're not alive. And when you feel like you're not alive, you don't want to be. I understand now what I didn't as a young boy watching another young boy die at hands in war. Not many people know, but when I was sorry, it's taking a lot out of me, all right? Not many people know, but when a combat unit returns home, there's a huge spike in death by suicides, an increase in violent crimes in and around base. So many people committed suicide in our barracks. Every day, it seemed like every day I wake up and someone hung themselves or took pills or something happened. It didn't seem real, but that's the harsh reality of what war does to us. And it's something that needs to end. I wrote Combat Medic to help America understand PTSD and veteran suicide by placing them in a foot soldier's boots so they can see the raw, uncensored brutality that happens to our troops at war and the fight they face at home. I also wrote it for veterans to help them see that there is a way to manage PTSD with the right tools. Just like Birdie here. It wasn't an easy process. In fact, I wanted to stop writing it many times because of the demons it kept stirring up inside of me. But God placed it in my mind that it was bigger than me, and that one day, my story would help everyone with PTSD fighting suicide overcome their demons and have a closer connection with Him. I'll always be a medic at heart. When I see that my fellow veterans are suffering just like me, I feel a strong urge to get them the help that they need. And it's important that veterans who suffer with PTSD don't lose faith. Faith in love, faith in family, and faith in God. When you see a veteran lose their way, don't judge them. Remind them of who they are at heart, the reasons you love them, and how great the future could be. Show them your wounds by sharing your testimony like I have by writing my story, to help them understand that any mountain can be moved. Most importantly, show them how to have a relationship with God. Help them find salvation through Jesus, and help them keep faith through the scriptures in the Bible so that they won't lose the will to live. I believe faith is the strongest weapon a soldier can be equipped with. I had faith in my skills as a medic every time I went out on a mission. When someone got wounded while all hell was breaking loose, I had faith that I could make it through the storm of bullets and mortars to save their life. When I was trapped, alone, in the corner of my dark apartment, shaking in cold sweats from the anxiety of persistent flashbacks and the torture of chronic pain, faith. The one day I will overcome it. It was the only thing that kept me from suicide. If I didn't have faith in God, and faith in family, to support me and love me, I know where I'd be. In uniform, standing at attention, and formation 6 feet under at Fort Snelling National Cemetery. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you, and God bless the future for all of our troops. Thank you so much.